It has been exactly 1 year since the Dream and John Swan drama went down, so in typical fashion, I decided to take a trip down memory lane, and I invite you guys to do the same with me. This drama was all over the place a year ago, and I can still remember watching my Twitter feed going ballistic with every new post being made on the situation. Video after video was made, and the giant twist at the end to wrap it all up was something that nobody saw coming from any direction. Enough of me talking, let's just jump right into the video. It all started February 14th, 2021, when John Swan would put out a Twitter post calling Dream a douchebag with a clip of Critical talking about when he met him for context as to why.
Yeah, so Charlie, continue. Why is he so spoiled or whatever you were saying?
Well, I was just saying, I thought Kaya didn't believe he had an ego. I was just going to say, because I went on a podcast with him and he was telling this story about, like, he always knew he was going to blow up and his advice to up-and-comers was to be super confident to the point of arrogance.
Before I even posted my first video, there was like this 6-month period where I was like, you know what, like, it can't be that hard to do YouTube. So I was like, let me look into it. Let me do the research. Let me read about it. Let me watch videos on it. I had no idea. I had no idea that I was going to get to this point this quickly, but I was being cocky. I was being cocky. I was to the point where I was like bragging, like, yeah, I'm gonna be at 1 million subs. And
he said he used to leverage favors from the community by promising them he'd blow up and remember them.
I had no subs, and I was trying to get a favor from somebody because I thought it would help me. It was really dumb. I wanted some like rank on some server that would then help me get my name out there, and I was asking for it for free. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna get you. I was like, oh, I promise you, when I blow up, I will pay you back. And he was like, no, you're not gonna blow up. I was like, no, you know me, I'm gonna blow up. And he's like, no, you won't. I was being dumb and cocky, but then again, I feel like that's kind of the attitude you have to have in order to greatly succeed in a certain field.
It was kind of douchey.
Jesus
shit.
Christ, that is super douchey.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you say that to his face? Or were you a
I
pussy?
didn't get a chance because everyone else was busy complimenting it.
Whoa.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty douchey.
Like if you're confident in yourself, and maybe not cocky, but if you're confident in yourself, yeah, I think that helps. So.
Well, I completely disagree, but yeah.
It's fair enough, right? Dream sounds like a pretty cocky dude in the clip, and John Swan thought so too. There's not much else to it. What made things interesting is that on the Dream Was Taken subreddit, people were talking about John Swan in a thread already when Dream himself left his own post about his opinions on the man. He said that John Swan pretended to be him in order to troll some kid, said some stuff to the kid as well, and when he confronted John Swan, he said that a friend got into the account and did the trolling, not him himself. Dream proceeded to unfollow him on Twitter and leave it at that, making it the last time they ever spoke to each other. There wasn't anything too deep about this interaction at first. John Swan said Dream is a douchebag, and Dream said why he doesn't like John Swan and gave his reasonings for it. The next day though, John Swan would find out about Dream's Reddit post and proceeded to make an entire Twitter thread about Dream trying to slander his name and smear his credibility. He says how he went to visit some family friends and how he was talking to one of them who was asking a bunch of questions on how to be a YouTuber and how to make videos and how to edit and such. He logged onto his Discord account on the kid's laptop to show him the things, but forgot to log out when he left, and then the kid started to troll another person on John's main account and an alternate Discord account pretending to be Dream, saying stuff about a Minecraft mod and stuff like that. John would find out about this after being told by Dream, log off his Discord account on all devices, and have a talk with the kid on how this could affect someone's career and all that kind of stuff. John Swan then goes on to say how Dream was trying to twist the narrative that he was an evil, manipulative liar, and gets a testimony from one of the kids that got trolled by John's family friend, HarleyTBS.
Just wanted to hop on and speak about the John Swan thing because I think I have a few things to explain in that situation. But back when I first met John, before I knew him, I received some messages from his account, which included a account that was called Dream, right? And I messaged the account called Dream, and it sent me the N-word along with other things, right? So not knowing John, I sent that to Dream, and since then I believe that I was partially responsible for the fact that Dream now believes that John did all these things, because when I spoke to John and John clarified, I didn't believe him because it seemed like he was using an excuse. But I don't believe that John is responsible for anything, okay? I believe that obviously it was probably someone else, seeing how the words were written now and knowing John a lot better. So I don't hold John responsible, but I do hold myself partially responsible for what Dream believes now. However, I do believe the way that Dream has represented it, including cutting a lot of context and trying to turn it into John being unfollowed sort of thing, I feel like that's kind of scummy.
Things get even more interesting as Dream responds to John Swan on Twitter, asking why he brought up a random Reddit response to his thousands of followers on Twitter, and starts to clarify his take even further. Dream says how his Reddit post implied that he didn't believe John Swan and doubles down on that, before showing off some leaked DMs between the two. The DMs are short and sweet and boil down to Dream asking if John Swan had been impersonating him, and John Swan saying it was an IRL friend that decided to fuck around with his Discord account after he forgot to sign out on his PC, and says that he will lecture the person for doing so. So as far as we can tell, John's story checks out. Dream is just a little hesitant on whether to believe it or not. John Swan doubles down on his claim that no matter where Dream posts his opinion on him, that since he's still accusing him of lying and given his channel size, trying to downplay his influence is a very bad move. John even clarifies that HarleyTBS doesn't believe it was John sending them the messages, and uses their word to further his argument that Dream is lying to everybody about the claims on himself. Dream would respond, asking how John knew he was referring to Discord messages in specific despite Dream never mentioning where the trolling took place in their DMs. He brings up why was an alt Discord account used to troll if they already had John's Discord to use? Why did they message multiple people things that sounded like it was coming from John? And pretty much outwardly speculates that he clarifies this is all just his opinion on John and that some things just aren't adding up correctly. Dream then says that he's done replying to John and that the drama seemed to have started over a small misunderstanding rather than something worth their time. John replies by saying he generally messages on Discord, which is why he replied with that in their DMs, and that he's seen the DMs between the troll and Harley about John being in a call with the fake Dream, hence the alt account. He further elaborates that he was only aware of 3 people that were messaged by the troll and that he had trouble getting into his Discord account because of bad connection due to his old house. John then goes on to ask Dream who the multiple people that messaged him about the trolling are, and he says he only knew about Harley getting trolled and not others, and further states that because Dream made the drama public, he wasn't going to give him the courtesy to take it to DMs. After this giant Twitter argument or whatever the hell you want to call it, people started to speculate on what the fuck was going on. YouTubers like Optimus would vouch for John, saying that he doesn't believe a thing Dream is saying as it seems it's so out of character for the guy, and how there are multiple people coming out to corroborate the details on John's story, even if it was only Harley who was involved that backed up John Swan. He says that Dream is intentionally being disingenuous to John and trying to slander a small commentary channel using completely false information, and that he feels obligated to talk about the situation in his own video. John's friend Nicholas DeOrio even had his own things to say about the situation, how Dream brought everything to the public himself and that he started the entire situation, pretty much backing up his friend John Swan like any friend would normally do. John Swan would go on to ask the question, why would he, a smaller creator wanting to get big on the platform and trying to solidify his YouTube career, try to smear a popular creator with an alt account and some mild trolling? It makes no sense to him whatsoever, so for Dream to say that John is doing exactly that was just something that was unnecessary to bring up to his audience. By this point in time, pretty much all of the commentary side of YouTube and Twitter were with John Swan, and all of Dream SMP's side were with Dream, of course. It makes sense, each side wants to defend their respective creators from their communities, and given that this was involving Dream, things were a giant shitstorm, and that's putting it very lightly. John even starts to brag about all the followers he's getting and saying that he's uncancelable. It was a massive shitstorm, and I'd be lying if I said it wasn't entertaining as hell to watch. However, there was one person on the commentary side of YouTube that wasn't buying John's story, and yeah, I say this in every video, but that man is the no man himself, Keemstar, and he explains himself in a Twitter video.
The Minecraft YouTuber Dream is getting criticism and hate right now, and it's unjustly and it's unfair because Dream is the actual victim in this situation. Let me explain. John Swan and Dream, a year ago, they get into a call, they do a collaboration on a documentary about Minecraft, right? That's how they meet each other on Discord. Then shortly after that, for some reason, John Swan starts messaging Dream's fans saying stuff and racist stuff, and a fake Dream account starts doing the same thing, and they're working together. Now Dream sees this, confronts John Swan about this, and John Swan says, look man, my friend was on my account, I showed other people my account, I was still logged into Discord, they got on the account, they're the ones that made the fake Dream account, and they were the ones that were on my account saying this stuff, I'm sorry. That was the end of it, right? But now, let's fast forward a year forward. John Swan is making multiple videos criticizing Dream, whether it's legitimate or not. I haven't seen the content. So Dream gets a little defensive, makes a Reddit post saying, this guy's not acting in good faith. This is what happened a year ago. He was saying stuff to my fans, and then he claimed he was hacked, right? So John Swan sees this Reddit post, by the way, only has 20 likes, makes a post on Twitter and says, look what Dream is trying to do to me. He's trying to ruin my credibility. And now I see the commentary community defending John Swan like John Swan is the victim in the situation. No! Dream is the victim in this situation. Dream's fans were the victim in this situation. And Dream doesn't have an obligation to believe John Swan's story or John Swan's story or whatever you say his fucking name. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I see the commentary community saying, well, Dream stans will just believe whatever he says and Dream stans will just support Dream. The commentary community has stans too. You're all brain dead. You're not looking at the situation logically. You're acting like fucking stans and you're just taking John Swan's side when John Swan can't be the victim. It's impossible for him to be the victim. Dream does not have an obligation to believe John Swan's story. Dream is the victim in this situation, and John Swan is not the victim. End of story. You know, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You're stans. You're a fucking drone. You're not a logical person using your own brain, looking at the situation and coming to a conclusion. You are a fanboy. You're tweeting at me saying the issue is, okay, we're moving the goalpost now. The issue is that Dream could have contacted John Swan privately in DMs. He didn't have to make the Reddit post. John Swan is a commentator uploading public videos criticizing other fucking YouTubers. Did Dream lose the right to do the same? Did Dream lose the right to publicly criticize John Swan back? That's insane. That's literally insane. Like, this is what's going on in the brain inside, right? What do my friends think? What do my favorite YouTuber thinks? Okay, that's what I think. I'm not that way. And some of you are tweeting at me, Keemstar, read the room. Fuck the room. I don't give a fuck about the room. Keemstar says what Keemstar fucking believes. You don't. You got a drone, 9-volt brain. What do my friends think? What do my favorite YouTuber thinks? That's what I think. I'm not you, motherfucker. And I don't care.
John Swan would go ahead and respond to Keemstar, saying he never made any videos on Dream like he said, and that the fake Dream account messaged only one person, with that person being Harley, and takes a dig for him not posting the parasitical French girl interview after years of saying he has it. Keemstar clarifies that he isn't out for blood despite his previous bias against John, and that he actually doesn't believe a word he's saying, and John says that it's dumb not to agree with him, again using how Harley is on John's side and that they didn't believe it was John messaging them on Discord. They start to bicker at each other, going over stuff we already know. Then Keemstar invites John onto DramaAlert and DMs him to set up a time, before going on to say he's inviting Dream as well on a separate post. So now all people had to do was wait in anticipation for the interview. Right before going on to DramaAlert, Dream did a live stream on Twitch on February 16th going over all the evidence that he had and was willing to show, and wanted people to see why he was taking this situation as far as he did up to that point. Dream starts off by explaining to the audience how he met John Swan when he had 6K subscribers, and how after he reached out to him, he decided to give him some time on his Minecraft video that he was making. He then goes into the leaked Twitter DMs and explains them real quick before getting into the good shit. Dream starts to go over new leaked Discord DMs sent by Harley, in which the conversation is said to be between the person impersonating John Swan on his account and Harley themselves. The conversation is the very first one they ever had on Discord DMs together, as implied by Harley stating they felt like adding John because he seemed cool. Fake John asks Harley if things are cool with Lieutenant Cobra, someone who both John and Harley know, and the conversation goes a bit about that and general content business stuff. Later on down the line, Fake John tells Harley he's in a call with Dream, Harley asks if they can talk to Dream on Discord, and Fake John sends Dream's Discord account to them. Harley is a bit sketchy and tells Fake John that he DM'd him on Twitter to verify, especially after Dream sent Harley the but it was promptly deleted. They then say they're a supporter on his Patreon and have access to Dream's private Discord server, which the Dream account in there has a different number code than the one sent by Fake John, meaning that Harley was already putting the pieces together. The conversation between Fake John and Harley go on for a bit, and then Harley shows a Twitter DM he got from Dream, with him confirming that it wasn't him talking to Harley at any point in time. Harley tries to call Fake John to confirm that he wasn't hacked or anything. Fake John says he's partying, then later on when Harley tries to confirm that the real John Swan is back, real John Swan replies that he is now back in control of his Discord account, and things with the Fake John end from then on. Dream then goes over the messages between Harley and the fake Dream account, now renamed to Nicholas DeOrio, John Swan's friend from earlier. At one point, fake Dream sends the but it has since been deleted, and then he starts to talk about his new Minecraft mod that he's been working on. Harley catches on pretty quick that they're getting trolled, but the discussion is still funny to them, so they want to keep it going. They say they will DM Dream on Twitter to confirm if it's really him or not, and then fake Dream suddenly gets defensive and ends the conversation right then and there. Dream then goes on to speculate that because the name of the fake Dream account is now Nicholas DeOrio, then it must have been John and Nick trolling Harley for shits and giggles, then explains his theory to the audience.
Like, so this is my theory. John Swan saw an opportunity to troll, and he took it. Decided to troll. He was probably in a call with his friend, Nicholas DeOrio. Nicholas then, messaged him as Dream and said some dumb stuff, and they were just making, they were having fun, other than the fact that they were messing around, they said some dumb Minecraft odd stuff, then they forgot about it, and changed it back. Now, this isn't his main Discord account. I've confirmed that this is not his main Discord account, but could be an alt, but this name being here makes no sense whatsoever. Other than that, it's either John on an alt, which it could be likely, except for this, which I talked about earlier. His mic, not muted. His mic, not muted. He's talking, he's not lighting up. This is John Swan. Who's this? Nicholas. Not throwing any accusation out there, but that's just a theory. A game theory.
Harley later says on Twitter that after speaking with Dream, they weren't confident in their earlier statement anymore and wouldn't speak about the matter any further. Dream would then express his frustrations and tell the audience that he gave John a chance to be honest in DMs and that he did the stream because he hates how overblown the drama had become and wanted to set the record straight.
And I'll say this, I gave John every opportunity to be honest. I gave him every opportunity. I messaged him. I had conversations with him. I was telling him, hey, look, dude, like, I know it was you. I know it was you on the account. Like, there's heaps of evidence that either it was you or you're just not telling us the full story. I gave him opportunity. I was like, look, I don't want to cause problems. I don't want to cause anything to happen. I'd rather just us work it out, and I want to know what's going on. And he's like, okay, well, I have nothing to say. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I tried my best. That's why I made this stream, because I just hate when people think that, I don't know, like, it's very frustrating. Everything, like, a comment with 21 likes became like this million view catastrophe on YouTube with tons of channels and tweets, and I'm a liar apparently for nothing.
People gave their opinion on the stream. Some people agreed that Dream was onto something, and others disagreed and said that Dream was dragging it out for the sake of drama, citing the points of Dream using the word yup as shaky proof that it was John the whole time.
He says yup, so that's in his vocabulary. That's an interesting thing. Very interesting. He happens to say yup. His 12-year-old friend happens to say yup, just like him.
The time for the DramaAlert interview comes, and this is what went down.
Guys, today we have a debate with the YouTuber Dream versus John Swan. However, right before this debate was about to happen, right when we were about to record, John Swan backed out. He had this statement: "My manager has advised me not to go on DramaAlert at this time and respond on my own platform. I wish you luck in the interview." Well, we're going to get into Dream. We're going to get into all of this on why there's a debate in the first place. But first, your thoughts on John Swan backing out.
Yeah, John Swan backed out at the last minute, so the interview went on with just Keem and Dream. The interview isn't anything too special, mainly just Dream recapping the stream that he did on this situation and speculating with Keemstar about why this is going on and all that kind of stuff.
The story just...
No, it doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, there's so many inconsistencies, and something I didn't even mention on my stream, which I think is actually a really big deal, is that in between the time period where he claimed he didn't have access to his account and he got hacked by the 12-year-old kid that he says did it, according to Harley, which is the only witness, because Harley was the one that was being messaged, the account never went offline. So the account was online the entire time between when he claims he didn't have access, and then he messaged them saying he did have access. And according to them, because it was only a 10-minute period, the account never went offline during that period. So the account was online the entire time while he was apparently doing password resets and stuff. But that wasn't something I mentioned. But there's so many things that were just so inconsistent with what he was saying. Like saying it's a 12-year-old. There's perfect grammar. It sounded just like him. I mean, on his account, like he was using common words and stuff that he uses. He was speaking just like himself. And he started the conversation with the person that he messaged by talking about a previous conversation they had.
I really wish John Swan was here, because, the entire commentary community is on John Swan's side, right? I haven't seen any commentator be on your side, Dream. And then, of course, Dream, you and your massive fan base is on your side. And that's why I wanted to have this here, because I feel like my audience, you know, many of my fans like aren't fans of either of you, right? And so I thought it would be a great place to have this conversation.
On Twitter, when Keemstar announced John backed out, some people gave their opinions on the matter. Optimus says that it's not a good look for John at all, even if it could have been biased or rigged against him. He then goes on to show that John himself DM'd him why he backed out, and it was because Keem only gave him 10 minutes to prepare according to what John said. Keemstar responds that John agreed to the interview a little under 2 hours before backing out, rather than 10 minutes like he said, throwing another wrench in the situation at hand. John Swan then says he will be taking some time off and that he will respond soon, also replying to one person saying that he and Dream did have a conversation together and he offered to end the drama, but Dream went on to stream to his audience anyway. Dream would go on to have an interview with YouTuber Kavos on February 18th, where they would discuss the drama thus far. The first point they talk about is the grammar argument using the word yup and whatnot, with Kavos saying that it's a pretty weak point overall, and Dream disagreeing with him before they move on after agreeing to disagree on the subject.
Well, everything
the
before
word
that, up to that
yup.
point. Like, I talked about a lot of stuff before that. Obviously, I didn't start with language. I had gone over that was like 30 minutes.
But
into the
that
stream
was
when I'd already
you-
gone over a bunch of stuff. But I was joking. I said I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever.
I
was
know,
playing it
obviously,
up,
I understand you're playing up to the detective, but to say that almost the word yup was almost enough, I don't agree with that.
Well,
at all.
I think my perspective is I wasn't, maybe it came across that way, but in no way whatsoever was I saying that yup was enough. And I even said in that clip, I said that it's probably 50-50 whether or not he said yup as well. Like in that 50-50, that doesn't, obviously that's not definitive in any way whatsoever. So even me saying that was my true viewpoint, is I think it's probably 50-50. You know, does he happen to say yup? Would he happen to use it because he uses it
Do you not
frequently?
think even that argument is just like ridiculous, like making it? Do you not think it's like a crazy argument?
No, not
to
at all.
make?
Because when you're trying to say, hey, he's saying it's not him, and then I'm going, okay, let's
But
look at
yup.
all of the evidence provided.
It's the
You can't
word
really go-
yup.
Well, it's not yup. It's when you combine everything together, like all the
What,
different,
yup,
all the different
mate?
phrases, the grammar, all these things.
The
And then
grammar?
when you-
All right, we'll get on to the grammar. These are very, very weak points that, if anything, shouldn't even have been brought up, because I don't think it's any
I think
kind
we'll
of
just have
proof
to
against
agree
John
to disagree
Swan.
there, because I think there's a lot of reasonable people that would look at that and go, yeah, it's not like a killer argument, but it's an argument that matters. Like if you're looking at it, like imagine it was completely different, then he could say, yeah, well, look, I don't speak at all like that, and that wouldn't be a weak argument for him. If he was like, look, this guy is speaking even when he first messages him, he doesn't use grammar. I always use grammar. So when you look at it from the opposite side, you'd be saying it's reasonable. So I'm saying from this case, I don't think it's unreasonable. I don't think it matters that much, but I don't think it's unreasonable at all. And I think it's fair to mention. And I think that it's something that even reasonable people can look at. But I think it really is opinionated. Like obviously you might have a different
it
viewpoint on
is.
it than I do.
The next point they go over is the mention of Harley and Cobra's beef that had been going on between each other, and that how would the fake John know about what was going on between the two if that was the first time that Harley and John ever messaged on Discord DMs together.
Another argument you make, which is probably, I'd say, one of your biggest arguments, is that the family friend knew about the Lieutenant Cobra and Harley beef. They're having problems, and that your argument you made was that how could this family friend possibly have known about this beef between Lieutenant Cobra and Harley? It must have been John Swan who knew.
Things not working out with LT Cobra. LT Cobra is a friend of Harley that John Swan knew about, knowing that Harley was having issues. Interesting. He brings up multiple things relative to knowledge that John Swan would have that the 12-year-old wouldn't have, including the Cobra thing. And I know Cobra ended up saying that, ended up finding screenshots of him having messaged John the day before.
Yeah.
That John, apparently he was on a call with him, and John has multiple times on Twitter and elsewhere claimed that he wasn't on Discord for many days, and that contradicts that completely. So it's like every new piece of evidence come out, it's like it contradicts another piece of evidence that was used. And John said that even as recently that he recently as like yesterday, tweeting on Twitter and tweet replies saying that Discord break for when if the Cobra screenshots are real and correct, then that means he would have been messaging the night before this happened, and then the next night, and that wouldn't even be like it wouldn't be a Discord break. And if it was, if he says, well, it was one day, then it would have happened to be the one day that he was hacked or whatever, where he took the Discord break. So that just, to me, that clouded it a little bit more. But it would make it slightly more likely that if a 12-year-old had access to his account and went and reviewed his other Discord messages and read through them, and then happened to retain that knowledge and be smart enough to ask about it to Harley, then that could be.
Dream also speculates that Cobra might be involved because of his fallout with Harley and wanting to troll them, with Kavos showing the audience the new evidence involved, discussing if perhaps the fake John might have seen John's discussions with Cobra the night prior and used that context to troll Harley even further.
It's speculation, but
What?
another one of their friends mentioned that that it potentially, if it was John, it could have been him and Cobra, because obviously Cobra and Harley had a falling out and they wanted to troll Harley, and that's what they did. But that's complete speculation. But again, one of their friends that was in a stream mentioned that that could have been a
Well, for the audience who don't have an idea, because we went through that very quickly, is that basically yesterday there was new evidence. The conversations in question on Discord are from the 7th of February 2020, and these screenshots that have been released by Lieutenant Cobra are from the night before, the 6th of February 2020, where he sent John Swan DMs between him and Harley where they were having problems, and the DMs clearly show that. So the argument is, because this would seemingly benefit John, is that if this kid was to log on to John Swan's Discord on the 7th, as John claims he did, these messages between Lieutenant Cobra and Harley would have been probably one of the first things he saw. So he would have known, he could have plausibly known about Lieutenant Cobra and Harley's problems. And the message he sent to Harley was only things not working out with Lieutenant Cobra. It wasn't incredibly insightful or as if he had crazy knowledge about it. It's pretty face value. So it makes it plausible anyway.
It definitely makes it more plausible than it was
that
before. Yeah,
this little kid could have gone on the account and seen that. So it's definitely interesting to hear that side. Does that make you change any arguments you made, or make you think differently, or are you still strongly believing that, you know, John Swan is,
no, I strongly believe, but I learned about that yesterday. It makes me a little less confident in the statement that there's no way that he would have known, because obviously now there is a way. Now, having what I heard from Harley and talked to Harley about, who was the only person that had known about the beef between Cobra and Harley, at the time Harley said that, oh well, no, I had messaged on Twitter, and Harley was on a fresh Discord account. So at the time of my stream, obviously I was like, there's literally no way. But yeah, that does make it like slightly more plausible that particular message could have not been due to prior knowledge by John Swan, but to me, I think it still wouldn't make as much sense. I messaged Cobra about it, and I asked him, because he was one of the other people that the guy messaged, according to them, and Cobra said that apparently the messages were deleted, and I have no idea why. That, to me, again, is another thing that makes me go like, why were they were deleted for Cobra, but they weren't deleted for Harley? Like, they didn't. It adds more. It just the more I look into it, just the more complicated it gets. I'm like, what the hell is it? What even is this? It's like a shit show.
John would go on to ask Dream if he'd resolve this situation with John Swan at all, given how long things have been drug out for whatnot. And Dream answers him that it depends on how things end up going, mentioning a private call he had with John the other night, with him and John not gaining much ground, and Dream mentioning that John said that things can end if Dream were to make a Twitter post saying they hashed things out, but Dream decided not to and went ahead and did his live stream.
But I don't know.
Would you resolve it with him? Would you shake hands or like call it a day, or would you not until he admits to you what you think is the truth?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it really depends on how things would go. Like, he did message me, and this is just me, full transparency. I messaged him the other day, and I had a call with him actually before my stream, and we talked for quite a while, like the other night, and we talked for probably 30 minutes or so. We were in the call. I was just telling him all the things from my perspective, and so I was just telling him, I was like, look, like, I understand, like, if it's like the thing or whatever, because obviously that would make him not want to admit. It's like everything else, not like the huge deal. I was like, look, if you're just honest with me and tell me about stuff, then we can resolve this. Like, we can just resolve this privately and make it go away, and that's fine. And obviously, he basically stuck to his story and said, oh no, I'm not lying, whatever. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I feel like at this point I have to defend myself then, because I believe that that's the case, and I have a right to defend myself if I believe I'm being slandered and called a liar. When the worst case scenario isn't that I'm a liar, it's that I shouldn't have brought it up. Maybe I could have been a little bit nicer in my reply on the Reddit thread. I was just sharing my opinion. Like, I was just sharing, oh, this thing happened, and this is what I think. This is what I think about it. After that, he messaged me and said like, oh well, we can end this. I recommend you just tweet out something saying like we resolved it in private or something. And then I didn't. I'll just be honest. I didn't reply, and then I did my stream.
So John said that to you? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting as well.
Kavos goes on to ask Dream if he would concede, given the plausible situation of fake John seeing the messages between real John and Cobra, and Dream doubles down on his reason as to why he's pretty sure it's real John, and that's because the fake Dream account name was changed to Nicholas DeOrio.
And say there was a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more now and then. Would you concede if that was the case? I'm not saying it is going to be the case.
To me, the smoking gun, the thing that convinced me, I'll tell you, before I had the conversation with John, but after the whole tweet scenario, being who I am, I looked into it because I felt bad. I was like, okay, well, if I'm saying this, I need to make sure like 100%. And the biggest thing to me was the new name being his best friend. And to me, that is like, there is no explanation for that.
What would John's motive be for changing it to his best friend?
No, so my my theory is that this was because I talked to Harley about it as well, and it wasn't changed recently. So it wasn't changed in the last like week or so. It wasn't changed because of this drama. It was changed at some point in the past. And so my theory in regards to that is just like they probably just forgot whoever did it, the alt account probably just forgot about the fact that they had done the Dream thing on that account or something, and changed it. So I don't know the motive. Maybe John was trolling his friend, or maybe if it was one of John's friends that had that account, maybe they were trolling his friend, or maybe they changed it.
Dream would ramble on about the motives as to why the name was changed to Nicholas DeOrio, and then Kavos asks the big question. Who does Dream think was behind the fake Dream account? And Dream speculates and says that he believes it's most likely a friend of John's, in specific, Lieutenant Cobra.
So who do you think's behind that account then? So you think it's John, like still using that account as a Nicholas DeOrio account, or you think it's Nick? Like who do you think is controlling that account?
I have no idea, and I feel like I've speculated like it could be one of his friends. Or I think it's almost definitely like 99% one of his friends or him. I think it's probably more likely to be one of his friends, and the only reason I think that is because of the fact that in the screenshot that he sent to Harley originally, they're in a Discord call, and one mic is lit up and the other one isn't, and none of the mics are muted. And so it makes me think that they're actually in a call and stuff, so it'd be hard to pull off if it was one person doing two different accounts. And so that to me makes it seem like, okay, it's probably John and his friend were trolling. It could be based on the speculation of one of I think it was actually Nicholas. I'm not sure though. Definitely not sure on that. But I think it was one of John's friends on a live stream speculated that if it was John, it would probably be John and Cobra. It would kind of make sense just because Cobra had the falling out with Harley, and then Harley was the one getting trolled, and so on and so forth. But then again, that's just complete speculation. I have no idea. But
yeah.
Yes, so I'm just.
The two would speculate about the fake Dream account, and then Dream goes into his main problem with the situation. That being all the commentary channels making him out to be the bad guy, when in actuality things were still up in the air, and that people should recognize that he had a reason to be confused about what was going on.
Yeah. My main problem was that a lot of the commentary channels were all saying Dream slanders John Swan, and Dream Dream lies about John Swan, and then John Swan even was saying like, how I can't believe, like, why would he believe me? And then so many people were like, a lot of his friends and stuff were replying like, yeah, why wouldn't he believe you and stuff? And I'm sitting here like, well, you can at least recognize, a reasonable person can recognize at least that it would be reasonable of me to be confused in this situation and think that, okay, it's probably him or one of his friends. And more at that time, because he had 6K subs, it's more likely for me to believe that he's just, I don't know him as a person. I just did one collab with him. It's more likely for me to believe, oh, it's just this guy trolling than the, my brother hacked my account excuse that even I when I was a little kid, I said stuff like that. I remember an email I sent.
I don't think it is unreasonable of you at all.
The interview would end shortly after this point, and after going over the new evidence and reasonings from Dream as to why he believes he's right, only time could tell what will happen next. John Swan would go on to talk about the Kavos interview on Twitter, saying that he's no longer convinced Dream brought the situation up out of malice, but that he's just inexperienced with responding to drama, and that the initial tweets he made on him were harsh in retrospect. John says that Dream is unaware of the influence he has, that he will change up his response in order to reflect his new look on the subject matter, and that things are being blown out of proportion, and that his response will hopefully be the end of the entire Dream versus John Swan saga at hand. On February 23rd, John Swan posts his Google document, My Response to Dream, and says that it's the last he will say on this situation. He also clarifies that he made a document instead of a video because the drama wasn't about profit to him, that he only wants to clear his name, and that hopefully people will understand that. The 13-page document starts with a summary of everything that had happened thus far, starting with a quick overview of what the hell was going on between John and Dream, why and how the drama started, and why John was making the document in the first place. John mentions how he was sent the original Reddit post by someone in his Discord server, and that since Dream made the situation public, he felt he needed to get ahead of the curve and justifies that as the reason he brought it to light to many more people on Twitter. John Swan would go on to answer some common questions floating around, like his reason as to knowing it was Discord messages right away despite Dream not mentioning them was that he uses Discord a lot for DMs and rarely used Twitter at the time, so if he was messaging people, it was through Discord. He talks about how Dream misremembered their last Discord call and that it was 3 months prior in November 2019, not in February 2020, that the fake Dream account was made by the fake John to troll Harley, and explains that he has no idea why fake John wanted to troll people to begin with, probably just to be annoying, and that he cleared up his act once he found out about the trolling. He then mentions that he meant to say Discord instead of YouTube in the DMs of Dream and that it was a typo, and explains that he couldn't get into his Discord account because he was traveling and that Australia has poor mobile reception. John goes on to clarify that fake John only messaged one person on the fake Dream account and that he messaged multiple people on John Swan's real account. He goes on to explain that he wasn't giving Dream the courtesy of messaging in DMs since he brought it to the public first in his Reddit post, and mentions that if the situation from a year prior bothered Dream so much, he could have just messaged John to clear it up then. He says that giving his Twitter to vouch never happened, as fake John only had access to John's Discord account, not Twitter, and that stuff said to Harley is just the mention of the Minecraft mod and nothing more. Now the meat of the document is John going over Dream's stream that he did and giving his main arguments out. He first goes over the clip of Dream talking about how fake John couldn't have known about the beef between Harley and Cobra.
He said, things not working out with LT Cobra. For context, LT Cobra is a friend of Harley's that John Swan knew about, and was a prior relationship knowing that Harley was having issues with LT Cobra. Interesting. So apparently, Swan claimed to me earlier today that this was his 12-year-old friend that he hasn't spoken to in a year. How? I ask you, how would his 12-year-old friend know about Harley's relationship with LT Cobra? That doesn't line up to me. I just like to say that it does not really line up to me. I mean, that is an interesting scenario, unless his 12-year-old friend somehow knew about this, because they had no prior Discord messages. None. At all. Zero. Actually none. So he couldn't even do research, because Harley's old account was actually suspended.
John says that fake John could have seen the discussions between him and Cobra about Harley, as he shows screenshots Cobra sent to John the night prior of the messages between him and Harley when the two were having an argument with each other. The next clip John goes over is the language comparisons that Dream did involving the word yup.
Yup. Keep that in mind. Now, what would you say? I mean, would you say yes, yep? Would you say yup? I mean, maybe. Maybe you're one of the people in the world that say yup. Now, I have never, as far as I know, said yup in my entire life. I rest my case. Okay, no, I don't rest my case. That's not it. That's actually not it. If that was it, that's probably enough, but that's not it. That's not it. He says yup. So that's in his vocabulary. That's an interesting thing. Very interesting. He happens to say yup. His 12-year-old friend happens to say yup, just like him.
John goes on to say that this is a very moot point, as this is a common term used by a multitude of people, and shows examples of massive content creators using the word themselves to prove that. The same thing happens in the next clip, except with the word exposed video, and John again states that this is a very moot point, just like the last, as it's a common term online.
Let's look at this verbiage. Exposed video. Now, if I was saying that, I would say exposed video. Expose video. Maybe the odds are 50-50. Let's see what John Swan himself says. And there's plenty more where this came from. I mean, he's used this vernacular plenty of time. Exposed videos, exposed video. I mean, it's just the D. That's the only thing I'm interested in. The D. I would do that without the D. Exposed video.
The next clip is of Dream calling fake John a super smart 12-year-old for talking about all this YouTube TOS in the messages with Harley.
He said, and he spams uploads with duplicate content against YouTube's terms of service. That is a smart 12-year-old. He steals code though. This is important because this is a relevant thing. Because back then people were saying, oh, Skeppy steals code in his videos and things like that in the commentary community, which just so happens to be the community that Mr. Swan resides in.
John goes on to say that he doesn't even know the person's age and that it's normal for his type of audience to parrot the same language as he does, in this case it being about YouTube TOS, and explains that this kind of language parroting happens with any kind of content creator, whether big or small. The next clip is Dream talking about how fake John is such a party animal and what kind of 12-year-old would go out and party like that.
What? Mate, don't spam me. Sorry, I'm at a party, mate.
John says that he doesn't really understand the point Dream is making here and points out that birthday parties are a thing that people go to, so this is virtually a non-point that Dream made. The next clip is Dream comparing the words mate together, and John says this is pretty easy to refute because mate is a common term in Australia, and moves on.
He says, another time, mate? This is not John. This is John.
The next clip is of Dream talking about the fake Dream account now being named DeOrio.
Why is the new account that used to be called Dream, that was an alt account, apparently of this 12-year-old who is a family friend, called DeOrio, John Swan's best friend?
John says that fake John could have seen Nick's name appear in some of his videos, so it's likely he just copied the name afterwards. The next clip is Dream calling Fake John a mad genius.
These are the scenarios here. 1, the 12-year-old is a genius, a mad genius who knows how to perfectly mimic John Swan's vernacular, his mannerisms, the way he speaks, has information about Harvey's friends without ever having spoken to him before, and have no past messages, that then now, a year later, is still a criminal mastermind using Nicholas DeOrio's name on the old fake Dream account. Or it was John Swan. Now, which is more likely?
And John saying that any sort of young kid would pull off a stunt like what he did if given the chance. The next clip is Dream talking about why would John need to password reset if Discord lets you log onto the same account on multiple platforms at once.
He left his account signed in on a 12-year-old's computer, and he can't log in. Well, that's not how that works. If you left your account on somebody else's computer, then you can still log in. It's just they can log in too. I mean, it's not like he knew your password and was able to change your password or anything, and you had to submit a password request or anything. Maybe I was trying to act like I was hacked, but at the same time claiming that I left it on someone else's computer, which doesn't work because you don't need to reset your password using a password reset request if you have access to the account. And you don't need to have, if you have bad connection, that doesn't mean you don't have access to the account, in which he claims he has access to the account. And if you left it on a PC, on their PC, that doesn't mean that you can't log in.
John says that this is because he wanted to make sure Fake John would not be able to log back into his account. It shows the timestamps when he requested the password reset and when he told Dream about it in the Twitter DMs. The next clip is of Dream saying how he was told it was either John's cousin or sister or family friend.
According to Harley, they said that he originally claimed it was his cousin. Apparently he said to someone else that it was his sister. He said to me it was a family friend that he hasn't spoken to.
John says how there's no proof to these claims whatsoever and it's just purely speculation on Dream's part. The next clip is Dream saying his theory as to why he thinks it was Nicholas DeOrio behind the fake Dream account.
This is my theory. John Swan decided to troll. He was probably in a call with his friend. They were messing around. They said some dumb Minecraft mod stuff. Then they forgot about it and changed it back. But this name being here makes no sense whatsoever. Other than that, it's either John on an alt, which it could be likely, except for this, which I talked about earlier. His mic not muted. His mic not muted. He's talking. He's not lighting up. This is John Swan. Who's this? Nicholas.
John says that there's no way it's him, because why would Nick misspell the O in DeOrio in his name if it was an alt account? It made no sense to John that Nick would misspell his name on an alt account to him, and things move on from there. The next clip is about Harley unlisting their video and that they take back their original claims.
Harley has tweeted recently, after speaking to Dream, I'm unlisting my video and I won't be saying anything further at this point. I'll leave my prior statements up. Just know I'm not confident in them anymore. His key witness has backed out after hearing the information that was presented.
John goes on to throw Harley under the bus and call him an untrustworthy source to listen to, despite using the word to try to prove his innocence when the drama started, showing how they flip-flopped during the whole Power Cynical drama months earlier, and now they seem to have done so yet again with this one. John addresses the inconsistency between the Dream Twitter DMs and talking to Cobra the night prior, saying that he wasn't active as he normally is, but then talking to Cobra that night prior just happened to be a time where he was a little more active than usual, despite telling Dream that he hadn't been on Discord in a bit on Twitter. John goes on to explain why he didn't go on DramaAlert and says it was because Keemstar refused to be unbiased, that Dream had just finished up his livestream beforehand, and that he was only given 10 minutes to prepare for the interview, despite Keemstar saying otherwise. He took the advice of his manager and didn't go on so that he could collect himself, and says that he thinks it's an understandable reason and that things have been blown way out of proportion, and feeding Keem's drama cycle would have made things much worse. John would go on to wrap things up, claiming that Dream is inexperienced when it comes to responding to drama, and shows an instance of Dream responding to a small YouTube channel claiming he was scripting his Minecraft Manhunt series, saying how it's a bit strange that he cares this much about things that honestly do not affect him in any way. The last thing John Swan points out is the Dream Minecraft speedrun controversy that happened a few months ago, where he was accused of cheating in his Minecraft speedrun, getting odds that are virtually impossible, and says that Dream knows what it's like to be called a liar, yet decides not to listen to any reasoning John provides. The very end of the document is John saying that things come down to whoever people believe in, and that he wants to move on from this giant misunderstanding between him and Dream. At the surface, the drama seemed to be over. Dream said his part in the live stream and interviews, and John Swan said his own in the Google document. Things were looking to be ending shortly, and this will go on to be remembered as another pointless, petty misunderstanding that was blown way out of proportion on the internet. Behind the scenes, however, things weren't looking quite as stable as they were on the surface. Now, we don't have any screenshots showing what was going down behind the scenes, but bigger YouTubers were starting to put the pieces together as to what exactly was going on. People were still making their videos about whatever the new current info was, of course, but as time went on, some people started to get a fishy feeling about John Swan and some of his behind the scenes evidence that they had seen. Push comes to shove, things start to add up, and eventually this led to Nicholas DeOrio confronting John Swan in Discord and secretly recording their call, all while John Swan was completely unaware of this, and things started to quickly unravel for the man.
I'm not mad at you. I just want you to, like, 100% assure me that there's no possible way, there's no mix-up that could have happened. Like, there's no way that you could possibly be not telling me the entire truth.
No, there's no way.
There's no way that you could have, like... It doesn't add up, dude. I can't tell you what I know, because it's just like... I don't think the person's going to release it. And it's just like... Oh, this is so fucked. Apparently there's like a lot of people who know now, and I just got told tonight, and it's like... I really can't give you any information on it because I don't want you to just go and message them.
I'm not going to do that, but I have a feeling.
So then who is it?
Who it is? Because I've heard I have been hit up recently.
Yeah.
By someone that I.
This totally adds up to what I'm going to say. Yeah. Okay, keep going.
About Premature.
Okay. What about Premature?
I heard that Primic's been saying some shit behind the scenes about.
But do you know what Primic has been saying about you?
I don't.
All right, that's the problem. Because like Primic's not the head of anything. I know Primic knows, but he's not like leading anything. It's just like there's no way. Like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't know. I just expect it to, like, at this point I think I've interacted with you enough that, like, if this were to be the case you would tell me. So it'd be like really fucked if that's not the case. Like absolutely totally fucked if it turned out to not be like the way that I assumed.
Yeah.
There's no way that you and Cobra were just fucking around with Harley or whatever, and then you didn't expect Dream to respond, and you just said, like, you made up something on the spot or whatever, and then you just, like, you weren't expecting it to ever come back up again, and it came back up again, and it was just a big shit show, and you just tried to bury it, and then it got bigger, and then you just fucking made a document. There's no way that's what happened.
I'm trying really hard here because Nick.
Dude, I'm not gonna go make a fucking video on you. Okay, I'm just asking because I want to know, because like I feel like I already know the answer, so it's like really like there's no reason to lie to me.
If you know the answer, then you know the answer.
So you did it.
That's what I'm gonna say.
John, come on! I'm not.
No, I'm not. I don't know. Who knows? If you know the answer, you know the answer. That's all.
Are you like the slightest bit worried?
No, not really.
Like, do you think I'm being irrational right now?
No, I don't think you are. I don't think you are. I think you're justifiably concerned.
John.
And skeptical.
There's, you're like, I'm really trying to tiptoe here. I have talked to everybody. I've talked to every single person involved in the entire thing now. like all of the people, not like Harley and Cobra. Like I know, like I've gone to like talk to most of the old NCO people, so like I know everything. Like there's no reason to not just tell me.
If you know, then you know. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you not trust me?
It's not that I don't trust you. It's that no. If you know, then you know. That's all I'm gonna say. It's nothing to do with not trusting you, though.
That's such a weird answer.
No, it's.
How could it be more complicated, John? I laid out exactly what I think happened. It's a yes or a no.
You are justifiable in believing that's what happened.
Is there a reason why that's not what happened?
It could be several reasons why.
So then why can't you just tell me what they are?
Okay, here's the thing, right? I know you talk to people. I know, you talk to me about things that other people have talked to you about. We share information. This is what happens. It happens all the time, okay?
Uh-huh.
You're probably gonna go and tell.
No, I'm not. If I'm gonna tell people, if I'm...
It kind of,
All right, to be fair,
let's not walk around the bush, right? Because you will probably do it, okay? Because we do it all the time.
Okay, sure, whatever.
So it doesn't.
My defense for that is that if I were to tell anybody, I would tell people what I've been already told privately. I probably wouldn't. What you're saying probably isn't going to affect that, but.
Well, I don't think that you. I don't know. Look, there's no problem with you doing that because we all do it, and it's just what happens, and we exchange information. So I'm not going to say anything at this time. That's all.
So you're afraid that I'm going to go tweet it out immediately that you tell me if you did it?
No, I don't think you're afraid that you're going to tweet it out. I think that you're probably just going to go tell people, which is fine. I mean, we do it all the time.
What's the if everybody already knows, then why?
Don't.
Do you think they don't have? All right, wait. You think they don't have you saying it? They do. No, they do.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
John, it's not on his Twitter account. It's on his WhatsApp.
No, it's not me that sent that. Mate.
The kid sent it?
I don't know who that is.
John, this is crazy.
I don't know who that was.
John.
I don't know. Who was that? I don't know.
Oh, God. This is super fucked. Why couldn't you just tell me not to make the video? That's all I want to know. Why wouldn't you tell me that I'm putting myself in a really stupid position and just to stay the fuck out of it? Why couldn't you just do that, dude?
Because it goes a little bit deep.
How deep is this, dude? Is this like... Are we entering like a satanic cult, dude? Like, are we going like to fucking Comet Ping Pong with this? Like, what is this? Is there like a ring I don't know about?
No, it's not.
Is somebody like out to get you?
I don't know about out to get me, but there are definitely people that would try.
What bridges have you fucking burned?
Some people really don't like me, unfortunately.
I can't possibly believe that anyone in the entire list of all the people we interacted with from the NCO would be like this fucking like gung-ho to like take you out. Unless you've like gone on complete like AWOL fucking side quests to whatever this fucking YouTube game is and just like fucked everybody over without me noticing. But like,
no, it's nothing to do with that. But there are definitely people that would try to use this in the future.
Wait, hold on. Are you worried that people are going to use this in the future, or are you worried that people are going to like disprove you publicly? Like, are you worried that this is going to come back to bite you, or are you worried that this happened?
No. Both.
So it happened.
What do you
Fuck,
mean?
dude. Why can't you just answer me straight up?
Nah, it's
All right. Well, if you're not gonna answer me, we don't have to talk anymore.
Yeah,
You were pretty easy to say no
I'm
until
aware
right
of the
now, by the
messages
way. I just want you to let you know. Like, you've been pretty, like, openly saying no for, like, a really long time. So the fact that you keep saying is like, well, it's, like, more complicated. Well, you don't know all the information. Well, I can't really say anything. Well, you're probably going to go tell everybody. It's just like, yeah, again, I like, nothing you say is more substantial than what I think I have, so I don't know. And I'm not going around actively, like, fucking slandering you or whatever.
No, I know you're not. Which I appreciate. But okay, so things have. I spoke to Troy the other day. That's how I know. Because I spoke to him after a long time of not speaking to him at all, and we had about an hour conversation about it. And basically the outcome of that was he had told people, but it wasn't as many as what I'm
What made it to me?
now. So
They told people.
I assume things have spread. But that doesn't really matter, because what matters is where it started, and if that person isn't going to come forward with anything, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, shitty screenshots coming from third hand doesn't mean a thing.
So you're basically just okay with saying that, like, it didn't happen because Tro's not going to put out the screenshot.
Yes.
All right, man. I'm not mad at you. I'm not gonna, like, fucking, I don't know. I'm just like, I kind of am, like, not gonna lie. I kind of would have.
No, you justifiably are, and I understand if this impacts things later on down the line.
I just feel like you could have just told me right off the
and I have no
bat.
problem with
I
that.
think we could have figured it out. We could have figured this out, like, literally day one. You didn't have to make that thread to address it. We could have totally figured this out when it was just a Reddit post, and we could have figured it out.
I don't think so. I don't know. I wanted to.
Why would
try
you
and
start
keep it
throwing
as-
fucking rocks around with Dream if you knew he had this on you?
Oh, it doesn't really.
No, but you made it much because you posted an 8-page Google document over a little white lie that blew up into a fucking mountain, dude. You don't think it's like, I mean, it's never gonna fucking, I guess it's not gonna come back to bite you, but it's like, you don't think that's like the slightest risky thing?
It was a big risk. Massive.
And you didn't just take it, you dragged us
But
into it.
I had.
And don't go, I never asked you to defend me, because that's like some dumb gay shit, dude. You were totally happy to accept it.
And yeah, I am. I was. It was. Looking back, I definitely did some things that were wrong. Undeniably. But,
I don't know, dude.
I can only look
Alright,
forward
well,
to the future.
I'm gonna
so-
dip now, because I need to, like, not go completely crazy. I'm probably gonna go to sleep, but...
After this call, Nicholas DeOrio would go on to post that John Swan lied about Dream early in the morning on February 27th, and that he had been shown evidence that John had been lying to him for weeks on end. Not to mention, John let his friends argue and make videos on the situation, all while he knew the truth the whole time and never told them, and even lied to other YouTubers like Augie RFC, Bo Blacks, and Tipster since things started. Nick felt it was the morally right thing to do coming out with this information, and soon after Nick made those tweets, him and John had another call together.
I had to. I know. No, I did. I definitely did.
No.
What?
No. What the fuck,
John.
dude?
Talk. Go.
No, it's just why,
Dude.
I don't... You can't, dude. What the
No,
fuck?
what do you mean? How is this any worse than literally just lying to my I don't know how much you've lied to me about, dude. I have no idea how much you've lied to me about, but if you're willing to lie on like that big of a public spectrum, do you think like people shouldn't know about it? You told somebody once that like your ego is gonna be the fucking death of you or some dumb shit like that. But like, I don't know. I feel like I've taken a lot of punches for you, dude. I feel like, I mean, you know what this makes me think of, dude? I think this makes me think of the time that I cracked a joke on a live stream saying, what if A-Star lied? And it would be a whole big credibility issue, and we got into a huge fucking fight over that. And, like, I start to wonder now, like, what if fucking A-Star lied? I start to wonder now, like, what happened to the fucking lawsuit? I start to, and all these could be totally, like, ridiculous, right? But I'm just sitting here thinking it's just like, you haven't been fucking upfront with me in any capacity. Why would, like, holy shit, dude. And it's just, if you're gonna be fucking lying to me, then what the fuck? I don't know. I thought we were like cooler than that. I thought you wouldn't like fucking like completely screw me over. So I don't know what you really expect from me here. I have like a moral truth capacity thing.
What? No. No, dude.
What is the way, dude? How do I do it better?
This is not the way. Fucking delete that immediately.
What did I do wrong? What's wrong about it? What do you want me to, like, what would I change?
This is not the time. This is seriously not the time.
What do you mean?
This is... No. Just... What the fuck, dude?
Look, dude, I feel bad enough already, but I'm not gonna just sit here and just, like, get fucking guilt-tripped. Do you have something to say that makes this make any sense to me?
Okay, alright.
Come on, dude, just tell me the sob story so I can tell you I don't fucking care about it.
No,
I don't. No, I really don't. I'm not, like, seriously, I don't. Can you just, like, get it off? Like, did your dog die? Like, what do you need me to say?
No, it's just fucking... I don't... Oh... No, you don't care anyway, so it doesn't matter.
What, dude? What? What is going on?
No, it's just some family shit, okay?
Dude, was the family shit a year long?
Okay.
Dude, are you really gonna get me into a call and tell me that you're having family shit and this isn't the time and you can't handle this right now? Like, seriously, dude? Come on, bro. Come on, dude. You're not even gonna come in here and try to, like, defend yourself and, like, have an actual fucking point in this situation. You're gonna come in here and fucking guilt trip me or something like that now. And you're literally the guy who said that fucking Pie Man was, like, fucking baiting or whatever, and you get in a call and you tell me that you have a fucking family problem about this stupid drama. You know, that's really fucking insulting. Okay. That's really insulting, dude.
That's not what this is about. Okay.
You're really good on your feet 99% of the time. I'm not sure if that's like the caricature or that's you. So I don't know who the fuck I'm talking to.
No, no. It's just this is fucking. What the fuck, dude? Like, I don't understand why you had to bring this to the public.
Right now? What do you mean? Like,
I had no idea.
I think you should have brought it to the public 3 weeks ago, and we could have totally skipped this out. Do you understand that I've been, like, fighting with everybody on Tommy's news team? I almost burned a bridge with Tommy because I was defending you so much. Willie Mac Show is making a whole video about how I'm fucking biased or some shit because I genuinely believe that you weren't feeding me lies for, like, a fucking week and a half, and I got into a screaming match with him, and, like, Wavy Websurf's girlfriend was in the call or whatever. Like, this is, like, literally driven like fucking divisions in my own fucking friendships with people online because I fucking trusted you. So like I don't really feel bad about this, not at all actually. I feel bad that like I burned a bridge with somebody I genuinely like to talk to, but I don't know if that person genuinely liked to talk to me because he fucking lies through his teeth, dude. So I don't know what the fuck. I have no idea, dude.
This is nothing. This is
Dude, just go and lie publicly, dude. Just go and lie publicly. Just say, like, Nick didn't put any screenshots in there. Dude, just go for it. Totally go for it, dude. You can, no, what are you going to do about it? You're not going to respond to it? You're not going to fucking, like, come in here and just say, like, Nick, you're being crazy right now or something like that? Or you're going to, dude, this is the same shit as last time when we got into an argument. You're like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that phone call or whatever until I posted something, and now all of a sudden you want to talk. I don't know.
No, it's just, I wanted it just to end fucking peacefully, dude. I dug myself into a deep hole, and I felt fucking terrible about it since I ever did it, man.
You didn't
I'm gonna be real
do
with you, okay?
anything
100%
fucking
real.
wrong.
I know you did.
What you did wrong was you dragged it and dragged it and dragged it, and that's the fucking problem here. Is that you made a Google document and you drug like everybody else in to like to fix your fucking situation. All you had to do was just own up to the fact that you fucking like trolled somebody and you never thought it would get back to them or something like that. And it probably, if you did it like at the beginning, if you did it at like the point where it was on fucking Reddit, like there were so many outs. You had so many outs to not be a dipshit. I don't know. Like I just figured you were a lot smarter than this. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, I thought so too. I guess I'm not. I guess I'm a fucking moron. Okay. Like this is
Dude,
like
just stop being a fucking ego-driven jackass and just say, you know what, I got caught up. Just tweet out, I got caught up in it. That's all you have to do. Like
No, because I've
what do you mean? You're just gonna keep lying?
Shit to do that. I'm just not gonna talk about it again. Ideally.
What, so then you can go fucking not answer it, and then someone's gonna write it in your chat while you're streaming, so you can give a stupid, insanely terrible take again, like you did last time you tried to push something like out of the way? You're gonna fuck yourself, dude. You're gonna fuck yourself again, because nobody fucking listens to me until after. And now this is how we got here, dude. Again, I didn't want to burn this bridge. I had no interest in burning this bridge, but like this is crazy, dude. Because
why did you do it?
It's the morally right. I have a video on my fucking channel lying about somebody. I have a video lying about somebody on my channel, and I didn't know I was lying about somebody when I made it. I have to fucking clear that up.
You could have just fucking.
Oh, I did, but then I made a statement because it's the right thing to do.
But it's just not.
We always had this fucking thing. We always said that, like, if any of us ever fucked up, like, we would call each other out for it, right? We always said that shit. You fucked up, dude. I called you out on it. Sorry. Yeah, you know what? Was it fucking harsh? Sure, dude. So was sitting here telling me that a 12-year-old fucking stole your fucking thing and sent, like, a Minecraft. You know, I was speculating that sounded like Lieutenant Cobra. Like, dude, what did you get in a call with him? And go like, hey, man, we really gotta get me out of this situation, dude. You have, like, something... Like, are the screenshots even fucking real? From the Harley thing?
Yeah.
Because you and him were sitting in a call going like, this HarleyTBS guy is a fucking loser or whatever. And then the next day, Harley sent you a friend request and you just fucking added it and you started fucking with him because that's what you did back then. And Willie's right. That was what everyone did in the NCO shit like that. All those guys just fuck with small commentators. You fuck with small commentators literally all the time.
Not really.
Do I think you... No. Well, do I think you make fucking fake Dream accounts all the time? No, that's not what I'm saying. But you fuck with small commentators literally all the time. So, like, he's right. Okay, I was totally off on that.
What do you fucking suggest I do here now?
Fucking own it, dude. And do you think, like, is there a hypothetical here that the reason Dream was acting so weird to you in DMs is because he fucking already, like, either had, like, the Tro thing and Tro asked him not to release it, or, like...
No, there's nothing.
How was he so sure that you lied?
I think he's just very fucking good at reading people, probably. Dude, what? I just don't understand.
Why do you not understand? What is so crazy about this?
No. I can understand if you never talk to me ever again, but you didn't have to do this.
Then you don't know who I am, dude, because my whole thing is trying to be fucking, like... I like, this is like a whole moral thing. I try to get to the bottom of things. I try to be, like, impartial and shit like that. And what you fucking pulled and dragged me into... really bothers me on like a personal level, and that's not even why I posted it. I could be mad at you, right? Like, I was mad at you when you stole my jokes or whatever, and then kind of copied my whole like list of things in that one video. I was kind of mad at you about that, but I didn't publicly fucking rip you to shreds or anything like that, and I didn't publicly make a whole big deal out of it because I could be mad at you and then get over it. It's not that big of a deal. It's fucking YouTube shit, okay? I have like a moral obligation to not fucking post lies and like slanderous shit on my shit. Okay, so if I'm making a video, I need to be like damn sure I'm telling the truth. I've never had to private a video on my main channel. Have I gotten a few things wrong here and there? Yeah, but I've corrected those things. This is a full video of like, and dude, I should have known when I was reading your fucking whatever it was, doc, that like half the points were like fucking regurgitated from my own video. That like I don't know. I should have fucking known, dude. When I read that shit and I'm like, you need to change that, you need to change this. That like you were making it up as you went along, and it's just like it's such a fucking crazy thing that you wouldn't expect me to come out and clear this shit up publicly. So no, I don't fucking, I'm sorry. I don't feel bad for whatever sob story you have, or I don't fucking feel bad for whatever is going on in your life. It must really suck, dude. Everyone has it, dude. My fucking uncle died like literally a week ago. I had his fucking funeral 3 days ago. I'm not gonna fucking give you a sob story about how his sudden death has impacted me in a way that made me tweet this shit out. It's just not the case. I'm really sorry if this like makes you upset. I'm sorry if this like hurts any future thing. That's not my goal. I do not want to hurt your channel. I don't want to hurt you as a person, but it comes down on my credibility or letting you lie, and my credibility matters more to me than letting you lie to Dream. Okay, sorry about that. It's nothing personal, except it kind of is, but the actual action isn't personal. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. So unless there's another reason I need to be here, like, again, totally don't expect... Oh, did he leave? He fucking rage quit the call. He fucking rage quit the call. Holy... What did he... How long was that rant? He fucking rage quit the call.
Soon after this call, John Swan would nuke all his tweets and post his confession, proclaiming that he made his Twitter thread after seeing Dream's Reddit post out of panic and kept digging himself deeper and deeper into a hole of lies. He apologizes to Dream for everything that he had done and for dragging his credibility through the mud. He expresses his shame and then says that he's going to be taking a break from social media to process everything and that he will return at one point, but he doesn't know when. He then apologizes to the people that stuck their necks out for him, admits to lying directly to his friends' faces for weeks and putting all of their credibility in danger, and that there is no excuse for what he did. If it wasn't for Nick secretly recording the calls with John and calling him out on Twitter, he would have gotten away with the entire drama scot-free. Keemstar would go on to brag about being correct the whole time and post a video updating people and bragging even more.
This is breaking news. Dream, 1000% innocent, and it's looking like John Swan is guilty to the point where he might be confessing. Let me tell you, because I only got 2 minutes, so I'll go as fast as I possibly can. A year ago, John Swan was on his Discord spamming Dream fans a lot of inappropriate stuff. He, at one point, even said the right? And there was also a fake Dream account that was also doing this stuff with the John Swan account. Now, when Dream accused John Swan of doing this, John Swan said, oh, you know, I left my Discord logged in at a friend's house and they were on it and they were doing it or whatever. So there was this big debate. Dream makes a Reddit post a year later, which was just a couple weeks ago. John Swan sees it, puts out a Twitter thread saying, Dream is trying to ruin my credibility. But then Dream does a stream and starts showing a lot of evidence where it looks like John Swan is lying and John Swan was the real person on the account saying the trolling the Dream fans. So then, you know, I set up a debate between Dream and John Swan. John Swan backed out last minute, said he needed time to prepare. And then a couple days ago, and no one even reported this because who would really care, John Swan, a commentator, instead of making a video defending himself, he comes out with a Google Docs, okay? Little strange for a commentator to be making a Google Docs instead of a video defending themselves. That was a little odd. And now John Swan's good friend, Nicholas DeOrio, is posting out tweets saying, you know what? We have 100% proof now that John Swan is guilty. This is what I heard, that John Swan told Tro, which is another commentator, the truth of what happened, when it happened, and then Tro was telling other people and somehow it got leaked. And now I'm hearing that John Swan is on a Discord right now confessing to the truth. And all John Swan's friends are exposing him. Damn. I hate to say it, but Keemstar right again? When are you motherfuckers gonna learn, bro? I'm always right. I can't believe it. Yo, the whole commentary community was coming at my throat. John Swan's innocent. John Swan. Bro, this is hilarious. Dude, I'll have a full update once this really goes public tomorrow on DramaAlert.
Also pointing out how John was bragging about gaining followers off a complete lie the whole time. Dream would come out and say he heard about John Swan admitting that he lied to everyone and that he knew about this evidence a week prior and gave John the opportunity to come clean, but that he denied it and continued to lie to people. He expresses his disappointment in John for continuing to lie and that he doesn't expect to get an apology, but he does get it anyways, as he said he was writing it, that he's disappointed in the commentary community for spreading the false narrative of Dream slandering small creators, and that he doesn't plan on talking about this drama any further past this point in time. Lieutenant Cobra would come clean as well, saying that he and John decided to troll Harley after Cobra got annoyed with them, and that he was the one behind the fake Dream account the entire time. He says he told John to just fess up when Dream found out, and that he backed up John the whole time because he didn't want to stab his friend in the back, and admits that the whole idea to troll Harley as a fake Dream was his idea the entire time. Optimus would wake up to the news and apologize to Dream for not believing him, confirms that he'd be taking down the videos he made and he would be making a new one, and expresses his sadness after sticking his credibility on the line for someone he trusted. He exclaims how it was John that brought eyes onto the situation to begin with by making his original Twitter thread, how he put out an apology and dipped from the internet, and how he believes the apology is ingenuine because he only came out with it after people behind the scenes were able to put the pieces together, and as we've seen, despite Nicholas DeOrio calling him on Discord about it, it was only when the news started to be talked about after Nick's post on Twitter did John finally fess up to everyone. The drama may have ended at this point, but there is still a little more stuff to go over. After John nuked his Twitter, his friends had their own piece to say. Augie obviously was absolutely furious getting lied to and used by John, especially after the audacity he had to brag about gaining all those followers, and Nicholas DeOrio would private his video on Dream, and he apologized to him as well. All these creators plus many more would either delete their videos on the matter or make an update video disowning their old ones as they were lied to the whole time. Dream would go on to win the drama per se, and months later would eventually admit to cheating in his Minecraft speedrun on May 30th, which we will talk about later. John Swan was now AWOL from the internet, and for the next few weeks people wouldn't hear a word from him. On March 14th, John Swan would make his return to the internet on his alternate Twitter account, Paexo. He states that he wasn't expecting the response he got, and that he reached out to everyone directly affected and that the convos were pretty positive. He says he'll be trying his hardest to win back his respect only a few weeks after leaving the internet, and that he will open a full thread on his main Twitter account about everything when he gets to that point. He would then give people a sneak peek at his upcoming single that he was working on. A week later, he would say he'd be going dark again, and then 4 days later post a snippet of another song he was working on. He would make a couple more miscellaneous posts throughout the week, celebrating Cordwood's success on his Dream video that he released, which John was supposed to feature on, and then on March 30th would make another post saying how he's glad people are bringing him back into the commentary community over a little month after he confessed to lying to everybody. John Swan would continue to periodically post on his alt Twitter account throughout the next few weeks with some normal things you'd expect, like updates on life and reactions to things, and then also pitying himself on the timeline as well, giving people the idea that he might not be in the best mindset at the moment and that he returned to the public eye way too soon. He would then come back to his main account on May 16th, a little under 3 months after leaving the internet. He would make a tweet titled "Moving Forward" and attach 2 text images explaining what's going on. He would say the past few months he was spending time with his family and taking a break from social media, even though he had been posting on his alt account for 2 months at this point. He says that the weeks after he fessed up, he made an effort to reach out to all those he affected and apologize to Dream, also admitting that he burned many bridges and that he would be trying to make amends for what he did. He goes on to say that he is young and had developed an ego on his time on YouTube, and that he's trying to get himself back in the mindset he was in 2 years ago. He says that he isn't giving up on his YouTube dream and that he's proud of the community he's built up to that point in time. He ends things by saying he might do a casual stream in the next few days or weeks, and that he'll be releasing videos again in a week starting the upcoming Saturday, and tells everyone to stay tuned. 5 days later, on May 21st, John Swan will release a brand new video about Mixer on his channel, which as this video hasn't matched up to the normal view count he usually gets, not to mention, it seemed that people weren't happy to see his return. 6 days later, on May 27th, John would release a new video about NFTs, getting a below average response yet again. The responses from these videos were very poor considering John's viewer track record at the time, but still weren't entirely bad. Sure, people were disliking them, but things were heading in the right direction for John's comeback. A few days later though, he hits his first bump in the road on his redemption arc. Now I mentioned earlier that Dream admitted to cheating in his Minecraft speedrun. To sum all that up, he made a giant paste spin talking about how there were mods installed on his Minecraft client that he wasn't aware of, and later found out these mods directly affected his item drop chances, causing him to cheat without him knowing. Dream would start to get a bunch of hate on Twitter for not fessing up earlier, and John Swan would of course catch wind of this. He would then go on to upload the video "I Empathize with Dream," a 20-minute video of John saying he understands the position Dream is in and compares the current situation to himself, and talks about how he had a hard time dealing with all his own shit, basically pitying himself throughout the whole runtime. John even made some posts on his alt Twitter account talking about the situation at hand while making the video, which we'll play now.
So, I'm sure we've all seen it by now. Dream, the Minecraft YouTuber I got into a bit of a spat with over 3.5 months ago now, has admitted to cheating in the Minecraft speedruns he was being accused of cheating in. He put out this paste spin, going over everything, and, you know, there's a lot of things in here to criticize, but I tried to do my very best and kind of step back for a little bit, kind of give it perspective, and think about where I was, 3.5 months ago, and try and draw parallels to what I was feeling, thinking, and doing, and to what Dream did, felt, and did. And when I did that, I started to empathize with him a lot. Because there are a shocking amount of similarities to what he did and to what I did. And I kind of just want to talk, ramble, no cuts, no nothing. No, this isn't even planned. I didn't even plan this properly. I just kind of want to talk about it. If you don't want to hear that, you can just click off. It's fine. You don't have to listen, but I feel like it's important for me to talk about. So Dream claims in this document that he, back all those months ago, when he was accused of cheating in a Minecraft speedrun, he said he never knew he cheated, but months go by and he realizes that he has a mod enabled that has the exact capabilities of what he would need to get faster times in the game, so higher drop rates of certain things. And this mod, he didn't realize he had enabled until months after the drama. I mean, I don't believe him. I don't believe him. Just like he didn't believe my story, I don't believe his story. I don't think that's, unreasonable to say. I think the guy probably did cheat the whole time. But regardless of that, we can kind of think about why he did this. And we don't really have to think very far because he tells us pretty soon. This guy said from the beginning that he wasn't, the numbers didn't look in his favor. He was upset that he was being questioned. And he tried to go through different Minecraft developers and try and figure out what was going on. And this is where the real clincher happens. The Minecraft speedrun team released a video. At this point, he felt complete fear, as he felt like he'd been publicly smeared in a way that he had no clue how to respond to. And all he knows is that it scared him a lot, feeling like everything you built might come tumbling down and there's nothing you can do about it is really stressful. This line here is exactly how I felt when all of the drama with Dream was going down. Let's summarize that real quick for anyone that's not aware. So, almost 2 years ago now, I was in a call with my friend and we were talking about a specific person who was annoying my friend in DMs, constantly DMing them all the time, various things, annoying constantly. So this person that was annoying my friend also sent me a lot of friend requests on Discord. Like he would spam them. I probably got like 10 or 20 and he would resend them every time I would deny them. So one day we were just in a call. I got a friend request and we decided, me and my friend, to troll this guy who was annoying us. I accepted his friend request and I started DMing him. And I made it up that it wasn't me on the account, that it was someone else or whatever. And we did a whole troll. We were like, oh, okay, we'll pretend that there's like, I'm in contact with Dream and we'll get like a fake Dream account. So my friend was on the fake Dream account. I'm sending him all this stuff. People were always like, oh, John Swan, he said the racial slur. He said the slur. That literally wasn't me. Like the guy is literally admitted to it and cleared it up that it wasn't me. The guy that was actually on the account. It literally was not me. Anyway, past that, all of this stuff happens. We start trolling the kid on the account. It's clearly, my sense of humor is a bit different than it was back then. I'm sure you can probably tell. I found it very funny at the time because we thought, this kid's really gullible. He'll fall for it. At the end, he doesn't really fall for it. And he actually DMs Dream everything. And Dream actually responds just out of the blue on this account. He responds and then he DMs me, like asking what the hell's going on. And at this point, I'm like, well, I can't just tell him that I've been trolling as him. Obviously it sounds bad, but in reality, it only happened with this one kid. It was an isolated incident. It didn't affect anyone. There was no outside slander going on. Nothing of that sort was really happening. It was really just one isolated incident, trolling this kid. And, it sounds really bad though when you say it, like I'm impersonating a YouTuber. But, it was really a very, comparatively, it was quite a small thing. But I didn't want to tell him that because I had like 6,000 subs and he had like 1 million subs, and all the messages sounded like I was just collab chasing. But it was really it was part of the troll that I was doing. But it looked really bad, and I didn't want to just admit that it was me. So I made up a story. That it wasn't me that was on the account. It was my family friend that was on the account that logged on and did all that stuff, and it wasn't me. He didn't believe that, but I thought it was enough to just get him to stop talking about it and move on. And that was the last time I ever trolled on Discord ever again. I actually never did it before then, but that was definitely the last time I would ever do anything like that ever again. And it was. I never did anything. It scared me shitless. Having this 1 million sub YouTuber DMing me like, what the hell's going on? I'm hearing all this stuff about you trolling on the account and saying the N-word. Again, wasn't me that said it, but, regardless, it scared me. And that's kind of where it ended. And then we fast forward a year to when Dream is, I don't think he's doing, some things that I'm criticizing him on, right? I'm criticizing Dream on the timeline. I'm about to make a video with Cordwit, and one of my criticisms gets posted to a subreddit. And Dream sees this and he decides to respond to it with the story I just told you, with some important things left out and some details changed that, aren't the best. He claims it was multiple people I did this to. Not true. It was only one. He also claims that I sent things to fans claiming it was him, but the only message that I sent was, I'm working on a Minecraft mod. Not really things. When you say that, it sounds like I'm like trying to seduce his fans or whatever. Like, the actual connotations you get from that are very different to what actually happened. But regardless, right, he posts this, and in my eyes, this was a massive threat to everything that I had built. I had like 150,000 subs. I was a relatively small channel, and here's the biggest and most influential YouTuber in the world, by influence, talking all this shit about me and bringing up a situation that had already been resolved for over a year in this Reddit thread. And I panicked like so bad because like you cannot imagine how it feels unless you're in that situation and unless you're in Dream situation. Because this guy went through a similar thing and I know exactly what he's feeling. I know exactly how it is. Now, the only thing that really stems from this is that he went through the same thing as me, but he couldn't really be charitable. That's not the greatest. I would have appreciated if he just didn't do that because he knows how it feels. He didn't have to say that on Reddit, but he decided to. I mean, that's his right, I suppose, but at least tell the story correctly. Anyway, so I panicked super hard when I saw that. I thought that everything, all the credibility that I had, everything that I built up to this point would come crashing down. This would become a massive deal. All I wanted to do was shut down the rumor. I wanted to stop the rumor from spreading as fast as I could. I actually got linked it on my Discord server. I got linked to that Reddit post on my Discord server, and I came up with this story. Basically, the extension of the story I told Dream, a year and a bit ago, that I came up with this story in 17 minutes. I went back and looked at my original logs. You can see the message that the time it was sent me and my response with the message that I would eventually post on Twitter was 17 minutes. That was the gap. That's the reason the story was so bad and had many holes, because I literally came up with it in 17 minutes. And it was this a moment of like intense panic that everything that I had and everything that I built would come crashing down. And at that point, I posted it on Twitter thinking that it would get maybe like 300 likes and I would never have to address it again and it would just be gone and I wouldn't have to talk about it. Not the case. It blew up immediately. It got like retweets and likes and it got like 1,500 likes and then Dream responded to it. And this drama became bigger and bigger and bigger. And I regretted it like really quickly. I'm sure you can imagine. I regretted this so fast. But at this point, I had gotten so far in that I didn't really know what I was supposed to do. Like at that point, was I just supposed to like turn around and say, sorry guys, I was just lying the entire time? Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to respond. I didn't know what to do because I'd already dug myself into this deep hole that I had no idea how to dig myself out of at this point. So I decided to possibly do one of the worst things I could do. And I decided to just go along with it. But I also wanted to end it off as quickly as I possibly could. And that's why I decided on making the Google document. Where I basically said this all came down to a misunderstanding, and I tried to be as charitable as I could to Dream in that document because I wanted the hate to die down. I wanted everything to stop. I wanted everything to just end because it had gotten so far and it had gotten so big, and I felt so shit that I just wanted all of it to end. Now, the downside of that is it made me look really insane because there was a multi-page Google document about things that didn't really happen. But I just wanted it all to stop. And that's the reason I did that Google Doc. Then a few days come out, a few days later, this grapevine stuff, John's lying, there was no point in trying to hide it anymore. So I just admitted it. In a way, to be honest, it kind of was better it happened when it did rather than happening, several months down the line. Because Dream doesn't mention this in here, but I know how it feels to lie about something like this for an extended period of time. It feels really bad. Like my closest friends know I was having issues sleeping and like functioning during the day. Like doing this was like, it was inhibiting my ability to do what I needed to do. It felt like absolute trash. And I know this guy must have felt like shit. He doesn't say he did, but I know he did because I know how it feels to have that happen to you and to go through with that. And, if it had gone on much longer, I don't know like how that would have affected me mentally. So I'm kind of happy it happened when it did. Now, obviously, the downside of that, of it happening and everything coming out in the way that it did, is that people really hated me. Unlike Dream, I had no one sticking up for me because I was objectively in the wrong. Nothing about what I did was in any way correct, right, admirable. There was no redeeming quality to what I did whatsoever. Now, on Dream's end, he has hundreds of thousands of stans that will support him. But regardless of that, he also has a much larger than me, quantity of people that really hate him and despise him. And that's kind of where I can empathize even more. This camera's out of focus. Let me just refocus it. It's going to annoy me. There we go. This is all very unscripted. I'm sure you can tell. It just went out of focus again. That's great. I apologize for this. I'm not cutting this. I don't want to cut it. I'm not cutting this video. I'm sorry. I'm not. So where was I? Something about me and Dream. I've just lost it. This is great. I'm still not cutting this video. I'm sorry. I'm not cutting it. So I think I found it. So Dream, Dream has a much higher quantity of people that hate him than I did because I'm a very small channel. But I know how it felt for me, all this controversy. I'm not trying to like seek pity points or whatever, but because, I brought this upon myself. This was my fault. But it feels genuinely very shit to have like thousands of people, perhaps even hundreds of thousands of people that hate you is really, really shit. And to have those same people call you like a psychopath and a sociopath for doing what you did and not even knowing like how it felt feels even worse. That's probably the worst thing about all of this. Like people were out there like calling me a psychopath and a sociopath, like going out saying all this stuff, and they had no idea at all about why I did it or how it felt or anything like that. It was terrible. Anyway, regardless of that, I know how that feels. And I know how this guy must have felt, having all those people ripping on him relentlessly and you just wanting it to go away. I really empathize with that. I really do. It's not to say what he did was okay. It's not to say what I did was okay. Both of us made a massive mistake. In Dream's situation, he's lied about it. I think someone said for 11 months, which is a long time. My situation lasted for 2.5 weeks. From what I can see, in public timelines, he's lasted for about 7 months. Apparently, there was more like behind the scenes, for 11 months. I don't know about that, but on the public surface, it happened for 11 months. He made a video that was about 20 minutes. He made an initial Google document that not a lot of people know about, but he made an initial Google document. Then he made a second, he hired the Harvard professor to create him a Google document. I believe there's another Google document that was released. He, for months on end, called the mod team clout chasers, that they were, this was all for clout. They were doing this, it was a shambles, constantly insulting them, belittling them for months. And then he finds out about 4 months ago that he was cheating, at least according to him, and he didn't say anything about it. He just let the harassment continue. Now, I'm not trying to say, what I did was, what Dream did is worse than me. That's not for me to determine. But the guy had a similar set of circumstances to me, although over a much longer period of time to a much greater scale. And I kind of know how it feels. I keep on coming back to this line. All I know is that it scared me a lot, feeling like everything you built might come tumbling down and there's nothing you can do about it is really stressful. And it is. And people not in this situation would never know how it feels. People that don't have a channel, that are not here, that haven't been called out, would never know how this feels. And I understand. And I empathize. But at the same time, it's like, I wish he could have empathized with me. Because he knows how this could have felt. But he went on Reddit, he started to do a whole lot of stuff and post whatever he did. And that still feels shitty and it impacts me to this day, because I made the really dumb decision of lying about it and, it impacted my entire career. And now, I've got to try and rebuild what I ruined for myself. And this guy's going to kind of have to do the same thing. But I want to try and put things in perspective. This isn't the worst thing. This isn't even close. There are so many people that have done way worse things than what Dream has done. Does it make it okay? Of course it doesn't. But many people have done many worse things. And we should allow Dream to have a redemption, to be able to grow and change. Because, he says he's genuinely sorry. And this, clearly affected him a lot. Because I know how it felt and it affected me a lot. I can't imagine it didn't affect him either. And he's come clean about it now. So it's important that we allow him a position and an opportunity to grow and change from this and to become better. And hopefully he does. Because I know how it felt to have, for people to give me that opportunity. It felt great. Not everyone did, unfortunately. That feels shitty. But I know how it feels to not be given an opportunity. And it doesn't feel great. And we shouldn't do the same thing to Dream. If he looks like he's genuinely sorry about all of this. So let's, criticize him, sure. Let's criticize what needs to be criticized. Let's do what needs to be done. But let's also not leave the door closed for redemption. Because there is redemption here. I really do think that. And I empathize a lot with him in this situation. Because I know how it feels. I think that's pretty much it. If I've said anything I need to say, I think so. This is a really long rant video. I don't usually do this, but you know what? I decided it's kind of needed. Also kind of like an end to the whole situation. I felt like this is kind of the right time to talk about it all. And I think I've cleared up most things that people would have questions about regarding everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for the support recently on the channel. It means a lot. Obviously coming back from this isn't easy. The algorithm's not treating me very well because people keep on unsubbing from the channel. Whenever it does that, basically YouTube says, oh, your subscribers aren't interested in your videos. Fine, we just won't recommend it to everyone then. No one can see your videos. That's not great, but it'll take a while for me to reach where I was before. But, I appreciate everyone's support on the channel. I appreciate everyone giving me the option to get better and do better. Because none of this is, I don't think any of this is things that, he or I deserve to lose our careers over. We both made stupid mistakes. And we can both grow and learn. And I hope he does. Because, I'm trying to do the same thing. Good on Dream for at least admitting to it, though. A little bit late, but He at least did it. Took him a while, but you know, better late than never. All right, guys. Appreciate it all. I'll speak to you guys later. Peace out. More videos coming soon. I promise. Okay, bye-bye, guys.
People like Tommy C would go on to talk about the video, and overall it was given a negative feedback, with people accusing John of trying to sympathy bait for pity and attention towards himself, and soon after it was released, the video was deleted. A few months would go by, John Swan wouldn't upload a video for a while, before finally posting a video about Chris Hansen's Onision investigation on August 24th, a little under 3 months since his last video. The video has done decent enough since release, recently getting over the 100k view mark, but to John, this wasn't enough, and it seemed that his YouTube career was falling apart in front of his very eyes. A little under 2 weeks after releasing his video on Isabel Janke on September 23rd and it not performing to his standards, things would culminate in a video released on October 2nd titled The Future of the Channel and Why I Might Be Quitting. A 15-minute pity party of John Swan saying that his career is dying, that he can't get things back to the way they were, and how he's hoping he can get things together soon, otherwise it might be over for him.
Hello, everyone. Today I just wanted to have a bit of a chat with you guys about the future of the channel and the future of me making content here on YouTube. I don't really do this, especially not on this channel, just sitting in front of a camera and just talk about things. But I saw Jay Schlatt do it recently, and I guess I kind of got inspired by him doing that. So here I am, just ready to give you guys kind of the story of where things are, how things are going, and you know, what the future holds. Before I talk about everything today, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's supported me the past few months, whether that be just watching, you know, liking, commenting, and especially the people that support me on Patreon and YouTube members, the people that aren't getting anything for the subscriptions that they're supposed to be getting stuff for. So I apologize for that. I assume at some point I'll sort that stuff out, but things are just a bit hectic at the current moment, and I'll try and explain today why exactly that is. As many of you know, probably most of you know, I got into a massive controversy about 8 months ago involving the biggest YouTuber at the time, the most influential YouTuber at the time, that being Dream. For those that aren't aware of the controversy, I'm going to try and sum it up as quickly as possible. So about 2 years ago, I was messing around on Discord with a friend of mine, and we were impersonating Dream to mess around with another person that we didn't like very much at the time. It was just sort of innocent messing around. I had something like 5,000, 6,000 subscribers at the time. I was just messing around. It was very childish, very foolish, but I did it anyway, and somehow this information actually got back to Dream. Dream at this point had featured in my Minecraft documentary on my main channel, and I could assume he wouldn't have been too happy with you know, someone that he had worked with in the past, collabed with, now impersonating him on other accounts. So he actually messaged me, you know, what's going on? Why are you impersonating me? And I basically told him it wasn't me. It was someone else that got access to my account, and it wasn't me. Possibly the worst excuse ever, but that's what I did. And I guess it kind of lay dormant for like an entire year. About a year after that, whole situation occurred, I actually became critical of Dream, calling him out for a few things that he had done and a few things that he had said. And I posted a clip from one of Critical's podcasts where he talked about Dream. That somehow got its way to Reddit, in which Dream himself responded with the story of the year previous, the whole impersonation story. And then that found its way to me a few hours after he posted that. When I saw this post from Dream, I panicked pretty hard. I didn't know, how far this post would go. You know, Dream didn't tell the story in a very charitable light. He said some things that had connotations that just weren't part of the original. Some stuff like he had sent messages to fans claiming it was me. That was like a quote from his Reddit post, which never really happened. It was, a message about someone working on a Minecraft mod, which is not what that implies. And the whole post to me was, it made me panic really hard because I had built up my reputation as being someone really upstanding, someone that didn't take part in these sort of childish activities that I once did. And I could have grounded myself on a serious level with the content that I produced. And I felt like if this gained traction, my credibility would be completely dashed. So I did possibly the worst thing that I ever could have done. And I ran with the story that I told Dream the previous year, the terrible story about someone else getting access to my account. And and I came up with that terrible story in 17 minutes, which is why it was so terrible. But yeah, it was a moment of really intense panic and not knowing what to do, and I lied about it. And I regretted it very soon afterwards. But at that point, I thought I had already gotten myself in too deep, and I didn't really know what else to do, to be fully honest. Yeah, the situation really it broke me in a way that I'd never been broken before. Obviously, I've been in controversies before. Obviously, I've been criticized before, but this was an entirely different ball game. I made countless missteps, and I wish I could go back and change everything and restart, because so many things of what I did were just completely out of line. But yeah, it kind of snowballed from there, and about 10 days later, it came out that I lied about everything, and I basically just fessed up on Twitter, and I left for a few months to basically just evaluate myself and find out where the next steps were in terms of me making content or returning or leaving or what was going to happen. Obviously, this affected more than just my channel. You know, it affected me mentally as well. I'm sure you can imagine having literally hundreds of thousands of people coming at you, calling you some of the worst things, is not a very fun experience. I've obviously been in drama before, but generally the drama is always been on my side, or the majority of people have always been on my side. And at this point, no one was on my side because there was nothing to defend me on. There was no sort of out that you could give me. Everyone kind of called me some of the worst things you could. I decided ultimately to return to YouTube because I felt that I could still offer something to the platform, and I owed it to the people that still wanted to see me make stuff to give it a fair shot and try my hand at making content again. So I did. I returned with a few really quite tame videos. But unfortunately, the channel state, as I'm sure you've probably gathered if you've been keeping up with my channel, is not good at the moment by any stretch of the imagination. To say things lightly, the channel is holding on by a thread at the moment. I've completely been kicked out of all of the YouTube recommendations. And the reason for that is that whenever people see my video in their feeds, they hit the unsub button because I assume some people just don't like me anymore. They don't want to be subbed. Some people just don't remember me and don't want to be subbed. And I see some people just don't care about the content and they want to unsub. And those are three reasons. Usually you only have one reason people would unsub. They just don't really care about you anymore and they leave. But because I had this massive controversy, a lot of people just don't want to really watch anything from me anymore, which is fine. But those unsubs actually send a message to YouTube saying that my own subscribers aren't interested in the content that I'm putting out. So YouTube does not put my videos in recommended at all. It doesn't put them on the homepage. Sometimes it just doesn't notify people. It doesn't put them in the sub box. It doesn't put them where they should be for my own subs to be able to find them anymore. So my entire channel has been kicked out of this recommendation system. Here's the graph of the views, like before and after. And you can see how like it has taken a dive, like considerably. And the financial impacts from this, I'm sure you can imagine, have also not been great. I moved out of my parents' place about a year ago now. So a few months into moving out, I got into this massive controversy, which was not great. But thankfully, I am smart with money, and financial ruin for me is still, quite a long way off. But just to give you like an idea of how bad things are, I am making less than half of what I should every month in order to break even with bills, food, rent, etc. So yeah, things are not great financially. Things are not great view-wise. Remember, this is how I make money. This is my job. I make videos to get views, and those views generate ad revenue. And that ad revenue, 55% of that comes to me, 45% to YouTube. That's how I make money. This is my job. And when the views are this bad and the channel is doing this bad, that does put into doubt in my mind about where things are going into the future. I would love to just make videos for fun and not have to worry about ad revenue and not have to worry about views, but I do worry about it because it's my job, and it's my job to worry about it. I never had this issue before. All my videos did well. Even the videos that I thought did poorly still did fine in terms of generating revenue. I've never had a problem with not being able to break even in a single month. But now I have not broke even for about 7 months in a row. And that obviously has a major financial and mental impact on you. I'm sure you can imagine just the money in my account every month going down and down and down and down and down, not really achieving any baseline. As I said, look, I'm not going to go under anytime soon. That's still a long way off because, I saved up and I don't spend money on things I don't need to spend money on. But, things are not looking great for me. I didn't know whether I should even talk about this because, it just comes across as me just complaining about, everything that's happening, and I'm not even giving myself a solution. But I don't really know what else I'm supposed to do at this point anymore. I'm really at a loss because my videos take a while to make. I put pride into my content. I put pride into my videos. I could pump out videos more frequently, but that means the quality of the content would also have to take a dive, which means the people that subbed for the high quality content would unsub once they see the content has dropped in quality. So I have to maintain the same standard of quality. So that means taking time on videos. But then the videos just don't do well and I don't make money and I'm back where I started. I wish I could just go back to the days where, I didn't have to rely on this and I didn't have to think about money or think about revenue. But unfortunately, I do have to think about it. And it's just simple understanding of how money works. I can't put in a whole month into a video for it to get, 50K, 60K views. That's not sustainable for me. So I'm at a loss on what I'm supposed to do with my channel and my content because I cannot live off my savings forever. At some point, they will run out, as far off as that may be. And I don't really know what I am supposed to do. I'm really at a loss here. I've been talking to people and trying to think of solutions, and no one can even help me. So, yeah, I don't really know. I've got no clue. Making videos is always what I wanted to do as my job. It's my career. I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. University doesn't interest me. I could go full scale into editing work, but even then, this is really what I want to do. This is what I wanted to do forever. And I threw it all away because of a really, really stupid thing I did. And as stupid as that was, I don't believe that I deserve to be punished in perpetuity. 8 months on, the effects from that is still not lifted. I thought by now, surely things would have gone back to normal, but they just haven't. I'm back at square one. I never seem to be gaining anything. I've been stuck at the same sub count now for, 8 months, 165,000 subs. I haven't even grown the channel at all. I'm sure you can imagine making video after video after video and every single one of them flopping. Every single time you upload, you lose subs. Every single time this happens, that takes a mental toll on you. And I went 3 months without making anything because I just didn't feel like making a single thing. I was completely demotivated. Demotivated in a way that I've never, ever felt before. I've had creative dry spells, but, this was something else. And I don't really know. I don't really know what the next steps are for me and my channel. I have seriously thought about just quitting because, I can't continue to do this forever. If I go into editing work, I'm not going to be able to work on this. So it's one or the other. Either this works out or I do something else. Because, making videos takes so much of my time. I can't just spend half my time making videos and half my time doing whatever else. I have to put all my all into this. Otherwise, I'm just never going to get a video done. Yeah, and I'm kind of just at this crossroads where I'm I don't know if I can continue with my dream if I'm not able to sustain myself off it anymore. And all of this because I made one mistake that spiraled into this massive drama that I just wish I could have prevented. I'm sure you can imagine the last few months have not been easy on me. Even during the drama, you know, I like to put up this facade of me being, you know, the uncancelable YouTuber, but on the inside, I was just screaming and kicking the whole time, being like, why on earth did you get yourself into this? I'm sure all of you have had a lie that you've told that spiraled out of control somehow, but it just didn't happen to you on the internet. And obviously, I know I'm a public figure and I know my standards of which I'm supposed to be holding myself to are supposed to be higher, but I did exactly that. I made a stupid mistake that spiraled, and I've suffered a lot. I've suffered a lot. I realized while editing this video, I didn't even film an outro. So I don't really know what else to say. I don't know how to end a video like this. I guess advice. Maybe any creators watching, reach out. I don't really know. This is my first time ever tackling anything like this, and I've got no idea what to do. So I guess if you made it this far in this depressing video, I appreciate that very much. All the support has been amazing. It's kept me to a level of sanity throughout this. So I appreciate that a lot, guys. Okay, enough of the video.
This video garnered a negative feedback just like I empathize with Dream, as people saw this as John begging for pity from others again and saying a sob story to try and make people feel bad for him. DeOrio would release a tweet longer after seeing the video drop, stating that he had forgiven John long ago but that he's tired of him feeling sorry for himself in public. He talks about the lie and says how out of character it was and still questions why he did it, but the reality is that John keeps arguing, deleting tweets, then leaving before repeating the cycle again, whereas Turkey Tom took it on the chin with his controversy, and when he came back he never looked back, something that John should have done. He says how John's newest videos were not on brand for him and that they were bound to bomb, but that he can't let that demotivate him. He has to get his shit together and keep pushing forward. Nick then sums up the tweet longer than TLDR and leaves things at that for people to see. John Swan's YouTube career seems to be slowly faltering with every passing day. Anytime he would release a video, they would underperform. And on top of that, people would unsubscribe, directly telling the YouTube algorithm to push his videos out less and less. He was taking side jobs, such as editing some videos for Vsauce, and even rebranded his Patreon into a full-fledged editing course, but his goal isn't to be an editor, it's to be a YouTuber. The future of the channel video was a cry for help from John, and it seemed that people were still unforgiving for him after he lied to everyone for so long. Sure, some of John's close and influential friends had forgiven him, but that influence can only go so far, and there was still a decent amount of relevant people that were rooting for his downfall and eventual defeat to happen. Things weren't looking good for John Swan, but an opportunity would cross his path and he was bound to take it. On November 16th, a YouTuber by the name of Technicals would release a video titled What Really Happened to Zero, a 47-minute dive into the allegations made against former Smash Pro Zero, and that he should be forgiven. This video isn't about those allegations, but rather the aftermath of the video's release, so we'll skip ahead a bit. Technicals started to beef with the commentary community because people like DeOrio and others disagreed with this take, and things completely spun out of control from there on, causing a lot of drama on the Twitter timeline. John Swan had been seeing all this drama going down and decided it was either now or never to get his channel back on track, or at the very least get the train moving once more, so he did just that in expected fashion. On December 8th, John Swan would release Zero Shame, the Technicals cover-up, a 58-minute video taking the opposite stance on Technicals' own video, saying that Zero shouldn't be forgiven. The video has done better than his recent ones, and even if the dislike ratio is very high, the fact that people were willing to watch and listen to his opinions again were more than enough for John to see that this was the best move to make for his channel. Twitter beef would ensue once more. John would respond to a Technicals fan that called him out. Technicals would eventually come out with a video of his own, and as expected, a piece of that would be reacting to John Swan's own video.
Let's set the scene.
I see you're parroting my setup. That's cute, that's cute. Let me try yours. Guys, my channel still hasn't recovered. I'm currently coasting off my savings, and I don't know how much longer I can do this. The Chris Hansen vids aren't paying like they used to, and I'm losing subs every time I upload. At this rate, I just might have to quit YouTube.
I cannot live off my savings forever. At some point they will run out. The channel is holding on by a thread at the moment. I've completely been kicked out of all of the YouTube recommendations. Whenever people see my video in their feeds, they hit the unsub button.
This will culminate in a live stream of John Swan reacting to Technicals' video and Technicals reacting to John Swan's stream reacting to his video.
Got him, guys. See, look, I knew he was gonna bring up that I lied to Dream. How did I know? Wow, you guessed I'd bring up the single thing that stunted your entire channel. It ruined your credibility. I didn't look at the frown on his face. Say this because we were trying to support you. Where are you looking? A lot of shit. Look up. Watch the video. A little trolling. Look up. Put your phone down. Whoever.
It was Cobra, by the way, that said that, not me.
Doesn't matter who said it, dude. You literally
no,
orchestrated it.
But regardless, I can't prove this.
You can't prove shit.
While I was making the intro for this guy's Sky video,
what does this have to do with
multiple
anything?
Times, the Dream stuff is not a big deal. You can come back.
You're bringing up me being a good friend. That doesn't make you look better.
You said that to me, right?
I said.
So it is weird how he brings.
Bro, I said to him. I said to this in his fucking peepers in the soul. I was like the Dream stuff. I was like, you didn't kid, bro. If you do this right, you can rebuild your channel.
Their drama is still ongoing at the moment, with Tentacles accusing John Swan of slandering his name and telling people he ran a CP group chat, so I guess wherever John Swan walks, controversy follows in his wake. This is where we're currently at with the Dream and John Swan aftermath a whole year later. Dream was able to move on and deal with his own shit, and John Swan struggled for almost a whole year after admitting to lying to everyone for weeks on end, only recently reaching any sort of notable channel attention since January 2021. He did a soft channel rebrand recently, so it seems he's confident in pushing forward with his YouTube career once more. Whether he could get his career going again is up to his fans to decide, because after the stunt he pulled a year ago lying to everybody, having influential friends around to support you can only go so far. What's y'all's opinion on the drama and aftermath? Were y'all there when it went down a year ago? Hell, what do you think about John Swan himself after watching this vid? Does he deserve any forgiveness, or is he still a massive piece of shit? There are so many questions I can ask that it would be redundant for me to go over all of them, so just make sure to tell me your opinions in the comments below. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe, and as always, with all of that out of the way, I will see you guys later.